Miniature Market has thousands of board games at discounted prices. Click the direct link below to see all of those discounted games. Hello my friends, today we're going to be creating animations with a bunch of different tunes. Today we're taking a look at Fliptoons. This is a deck building game with a bit of luck and kind of like an auto battler, but you're not really battling anyone. It's from Thunderworks Games. It's going to be their Gen Con release. So let me show you how it's played. I'll see you on the other side. Fliptoons is a deck building and combo building game where you're going to be getting all these different cute, adorable cards like the cat, the tiger, the peacock, the bear, the snake, and you're trying to have the most fame in the end. And here's a look at some more cards close up. Everyone gets the same 6 cards for a starting deck. Now on your turn, everyone simultaneously is going to flip, which is why it's called Fliptoons, their 6 top cards from their deck. And you're going to start at the top and then work your way across and then work your way down. So it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then everyone's going to count up their fame. Fame is everything in this game. This one gets you 0. This one gets you 0, but 1 for every unique card that's adjacent. So this is 1, this is 1. That's also the same card, so that doesn't count. So this one's getting 2 fame. This one's getting 0, 0, 2, 1. So I have 5 fame that I'm counting here, and everyone is doing that. Then starting with the first player and going clockwise, each player can do up to 2 actions. One of the actions is you can essentially hire a tune. The cost in fame is above. You do not carry fame over to the next round. So we had 5 fame. We could essentially buy this one or this one. Now these are always in order from numbers lowest to highest because the higher numbers are the more powerful cards. This one, so what happens is when you buy one, it actually is going to get shuffled in with your deck right away. So likely you're going to have this next turn. Now if I buy one of these cards and that's all I do, I'll then have 7, which means 6 of my 7 cards will come out next round. This might be the one that doesn't come out, who knows. But this one would get me 1 fame, and then 3 if it happens to be in the upper row. This one gets me 2 fame, but 2 more if no other player or the market has more camels than you. So maybe I buy the camel. Now it wouldn't refill, and if I had enough fame to buy another card, I could. Now I said you could do 2 actions. You could hire 2 tunes if you had enough money, or you can dismiss a card. Normally it costs 5 to dismiss a card. So if I want to get rid of this B, I could just say I'll spend 5 and get rid of this card. It's sort of culling your deck, if you will. However, some of these have abilities, like this one costs 3 to dismiss instead of 5. It's worth 0, but the caterpillars are easier to dismiss. I don't have enough because I only had 5. It's just the first round, but as you get better and better tunes, you're going to be getting more and more fame, and you're going to be sort of like engine building, if you will. Now, some of these have abilities at the end. Like this says, if you have the least fame after the check, then you dismiss a card of your grid for 0. So whoever is in last basically has the lowest, that has the skunk out, gets to dismiss 1 for free. They kind of, a little bit of a catch-up mechanism there. Now at the end of my turn, I would flip this up and replace, but they all get into the right order again. So this would slide over. This comes here because the line is 16. Now let's look at some of these. Some of these happen when you hire them. So when hired, discard any card, any number of cards in the market and refill. So you could, wipe the market if you want. That's great if you have enough money to buy a second one, but there's nothing out there you like. Let's show you what some of these elements. So this one gets you 6 fame, and then after the market phase, dismiss 1 card adjacent to the right of this card. So this one's great, but it's going to be, well, possibly getting rid of good cards, but if you get him early in the game, he's going to be getting rid of a lot of your bad cards. Lion gets you 3 + 4 if all adjacent cards are ranked lower than 16 or lower, tied or lower. And the cow there on the right, well, it copies the fame of 1 adjacent card. Now once all players have done that, you're going to take all the 6 cards, the ones that you have not dismissed, you're going to shuffle them in with any cards that you've bought, and you're going to create another deck. Then you're going to basically clean up and start a new round. Everyone's going to shuffle their deck and 6 new cards come out. Now I want to show you the last round of a previous game that I played, just to show you how some of these things combo together. Like, for example, I have the monkey. It's going to be 3. If placed in the upper row, move this card to the row above. So I'm going to slide this up. This is still going to be worth fame at the end, but it's kind of cleared itself out. So now this one comes in the upper row. 3 + 7 if one or more of your cards in your grid are face down. Okay, that might be good a little bit later. This one, the rabbit. Stack this card on top of the first rabbit or face down card in your grid if possible. He's the first one, so he's there. He's still going to get me 3. Look at this one, another rabbit. Stack this card on top of the first rabbit or face down card. So this one's going to stack. Look at that. Opening up another slot. This is the eagle. Flip the next place card unless it has a can't flip. The next one's going to come out. And it's the dragonfly, which was great because it wasn't that bad to flip. Not, I mean, you don't want to flip, but that one wasn't huge. And then I had this. This was my last card. Turkey. I didn't even have enough because of all the stacking and moving. 5. Stack this card on the previous play's card. Well, it didn't matter too much. If I had more cards on my deck, I could have actually gotten more out here. And so that's similar to what you would do in some sort of the later rounds. Now this one did give me that +7 because one of my cards was face down. So this and this sort of comboed together pretty well. This and this comboed together well. This one just happened to have drawn right. Now I got 28 fame. So what happens is if any player gets to 30 fame, then next round will be the last round. But the person who triggered it actually gets a +3 bonus for that last round. So you are incentivized to try to get to 30 or higher to kind of push the end of the game. And that's pretty much how you play Fliptoons. Now before I get to the moment you've been waiting for, I want to let you know that Game Toppers upgrades every game you play, being the one table to rule them all, with Game Toppers, leg kits, dining covers, and premium game mats and more. Their 5.0 Kickstarter is live now, and they found a way to deflate prices to pre-pandemic levels without sacrificing their quality brand. Now in some cases even by $200 or more, dropping the prices of shipping by as much as 50%, saving another $100 plus. Check out the new Ryan Lockett and Amber Sharf mats. Go to GameToppersLLC.com to learn more. Alright, so what did I like about this game? Biases coming in here. I don't typically like deck building games. I like pressure luck games. I like auto battler games like Challengers and things like that. But deck building has never been a thing that I've loved. So I came into this being like, okay, it sounds cool, it looks cute, will it hold up for me? So I'm kind of a tough critic when it comes to this style of game. Things I liked, first of all, the cute art and the inspiration of this. The art's adorable in this. It really kind of feels nostalgic. It kind of looks like some of the older characters back when I was a kid watching cartoons and stuff. And it just has that cute vibe. It just fits the theme well, fits the game well. And the inspiration, I guess it's part of this what's called rubber hose animation style. Of classic silver screen cartoon features where there were specifically 2 rows of things that were going on as they were animating, and this is sort of like trying to replicate that. I thought it was cool. It was kind of inspired by that. This game, yes, it's a deck builder, but it has sort of a slot machine feel to it, where it's like, hey, I built this deck. I have no idea what's going to happen. Let's just play the cards and see what happens. Kind of like, the auto battler feeling of Challengers, which was a really popular game. I won the Kenner Spiel des Jahres a couple years ago, where it's like, hey, you build this deck, you do deck building, and then let's just play war, and you just pull a card out. Here it's like, hey, I'm going to do deck building, but now I'm going to flip them up and hope that the combos line up in the right way. Am I flipping over cards I want to flip over or don't want to flip over? Is it automatically dismissing some of my weaker cards, or did it by accident dismiss the really good card I just bought? Darn it, what was the chances of that? And funny things happen like that, and you don't take the game too seriously. Yes, it's fun. Yes, you deck build, but it's like, okay, let's roll the dice here, shuffle the cards, and see what happens. I love that it has sort of the accelerated deck building. This is one reason why I like this, because the standard old deck building, I'm going to buy a card, I'm going to put it in my discard pile, and maybe 5 turns later I might be able to use its ability, but it might not be at the right time. It's like, no, I'm buying this card, guess what? It's likely going to be in right next turn, unless you have too many cards and you haven't called it well. But I like that. It's accelerated deck building. Right away, next round, they're there, and I like that. It speeds up to the fun. The combos are fun. I showed in the overview there, like some different things that happens, like, hey, I do this one, and it moves up, and I do this one. Oh, do this one, it stacks on this one. Oh, and this one gives me points for every one I've stacked. Oh, and this one gives me points for every unique card that's next to it. Oh, okay, well, now that I've got a bunch of stacked cards, and I've got stuff on top of me, all this different thing. So it's like you've got all these funny combos that you're trying to line up. Now, you try to build for these combos, but will they line up? You don't know, but when they hit, they're a lot of fun. I like that this is sort of a race to 30 fame, and you're trying to get that in one single round. So it's like it's a race. You're trying to push forward, and I like that they don't just get you to 30 and say, hey, it's the last round, let's go to the next round, because people would probably like purposely slow down to build up a better and better team or a deck. But I like that it gives you the extra credit, the critic points, because that gives you an extra incentive to try to be the first to 30, to kind of get there before people really get their engine going. And you get some extra points for it. So you are really pushing fast to the end of that game. This game's fast, by the way. This game's faster than you think it's going to be. I like that different abilities trigger at different times. Sometimes like, hey, when you hire this tune, something happens. Other one's like, hey, as soon as you flip this one over, flip another one up and stack it on it, or something like that. Like things happen at different times. Some of them are just like, hey, if you have more than this person over here in the market, you get this many. Different abilities, different times, keeps the game fresh. Now, that 30 frame, I like that it just triggers the last round. It's not sort of immediate win. So you could be like close to 30 and someone triggers 30 and you're like, I wasn't quite ready yet, but you might just have a great draw and win. Or you might be killing everybody and you just got a bad draw the last round. Somebody else snuck in and beat you. You don't have to get 30 to win the game. You just have to have 30 to trigger the end. And I like that. Some people are not gonna like that. I thought it was fun. The game is so fast. Like a lot of times it's like, a game overstays its welcome. This game like understays its welcome. There's plenty of times where I'm like, oh man, it's over already. I was just getting going, it was just getting fun. But I would rather have a game end too soon than have it run too late. It makes you kind of want to play it again. So it's not a terrible thing. I do kind of wish it went like 1 or 2 more turns more, but hey, it's fun, it's great. Okay, things I didn't like about it, or things that other people might not like about it. There's not a ton of player interaction here. Sure, some cards are like, hey, if you have more than other players and what's in the market, you get X amount. There is one card, I think it's the pig, that like directly affects another player. But other than that, and someone else may be indirectly buying a card that you wanted, there's not a lot of interaction. You're building your own engine, you're building your own combos, you're doing everything there. There's a tiny bit of interaction, but not a lot. If you're looking for a lot of interaction in your games, this isn't going to have that for you. The other thing is, this game might have too much luck for some people. It's just lucky. You could just get the cards that work well with each other, and you know what? Hey, I get extra points if this card's on my top row. Well, guess what? It's on the bottom row. This card, I'm going to dismiss the next card, or I'm going to dismiss the card at the top of my deck, and I'm going to pull one from the market deck and replace it. And you're like, I just got rid of like the 25 card I just bought. Darn it. Sometimes you can be out of luck, but sometimes you get lucky. And that could be too lucky for some, I think. I thought it was fun because the game's short. The last thing is, I would have liked to have seen asymmetric starting decks, even slightly different but balanced, of course, because the first turn or two each game tends to feel somewhat samey, especially the first turn because you have all 6 cards, right? And like where that one is, which gets you the adjacent points, and whether or not you're using a skunk or not, really determines like where you're going to go the first round. But like the first 2 rounds, they're kind of samey. I kind of would wish that they would either give us slightly different decks, or give us like 2 buying rounds to start the game, 2 buys and 2 culls, or just 2 buys, and then make the fame total a little bit higher to trigger the end of the game. So like you get in there and everyone's somewhat different off the bat. Not a game killer for me because again the game is short. I mean it's fine and the rounds are short. But if I was gonna improve the game, that would be it. With all this being said, I think this game's fantastic. It's a lot of fun. If you liked Challengers, I think this is even parts of this is more fun than Challengers. Now Challengers has this thing where like, hey, we're playing a tournament. I'm playing against you. Next game I'm playing against you, and then at the end everyone gets to watch the championship match. That's amazing. But the actual game of like, I'm gonna flip over a card and battle someone versus I'm gonna flip over a card and try to combo things together, I think this is more satisfying than the Challengers aspect is. It doesn't have the whole tournament aspect, which I think is amazing. But it's a lot of fun. And for all these reasons, I am definitely, even though it's Deck Builder, I love this game. And it's, before all those reasons, it's getting a Saxophone Serenade, my highest honor, which means I'm keeping it in my gaming library, which doesn't happen that often these days. So here we go.